What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Cop Out podcast. It's Mick and Kristian once again. So have a little chat about the Rangers game yesterday, and obviously then the Arsenal game, which we missed because I wasn't in the country. I was elsewhere.
Good that you actually say it was your fault and not mine.
Yeah, it was. It was my fault. But yeah, Kristian could have done one on his own, to be fair, but didn't want to. How you doing, lad? Anyway, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. At the west coast of Sweden, closer to where I'm from, where I'm born and bred, Gothenburg. So visiting some friends and going back home today, though. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see some friends and doing a few other things than just being home and taking care of family stuff. So yeah,
Nice.
not bad.
Oh, good stuff. And last night obviously helped with the big win, but obviously, like I said, we haven't discussed the Arsenal game, and ideally we wouldn't like to, but I thought we've got to at least cover every game because can't just miss games out that you don't want to talk about because they were shit. But yeah, Sunday, watched this when I was in Rome, and yeah, 3-2 to them. But like, I just want to go through like obviously the goals and like obviously talking points and whatever, just like quick before we get on to Rangers and that. But yeah, first minute and the score Martinelli, and you're like, is it offside? And then you're like, it's a tight one. If it was against us, you'd be like, it's a bit of a tricky one. But then it comes out like the following days, like VAR couldn't actually capture it because the something to do with the cameras and calibration and blah blah blah, some technical shit. But that was just one of the very loads of issues and decisions on the day, weren't it? That one.
Yeah, it's one of them where it feels like everything is going wrong from the start. And it kind of did from the first minute, obviously. But the aftermath when you read up on things that happen, like you just mentioned, VAR and all that. It's just one of them where you feel like everything was going against us. The handball as well, which we talk about. Even if it might have gone into his chest first, and what the rule says, I'm not sure anymore. It's just one of them where you can just feel like nothing will go away anyway, so we can't be bothered anymore. So actually, just after the game, I kind of just took it that we lost, and then I tried to just move on from it because I just felt like I can't be bothered with VAR and reading all this stuff about cameras not covering all the pitch and things like that. I just feel like it's 2022 now. We should be able to sort that out quite easily. But yeah.
I know. It's one of them. It's just really fucking frustrating, especially with the fact and all the other stuff as well. But Panav Scouse is in. Nice one. We're actually on YouTube and Facebook Live. So if you want to hit the like button, if you're on Facebook, jump over to YouTube and subscribe if you want. If not, then that's completely fine. We're happy watching or listening. But yeah, first goal, and then you're like, all right, it was a close one. It wasn't like clear, like proper, like he's clearly offside. Otherwise, obviously, it would have been harder to take. It was a tight one. And then what actually was the Jota handball? Was that after we scored? I don't know. I had a few beers.
Yeah,
I think it might have been at 1-1, mightn't it?
I think so. I'm not sure now because it's the thing is with those kind of games, you just kind of okay, whatever, because you lost. So I'm not actually, sometimes even if like we sit and talk about it, sometimes I just don't really look back at it because I'm just disappointed. You just want to move on. So you don't really go into it, and because some people say, I watched back the whole game yesterday and I think this and that. I was like, how the fuck could you actually watch it? Like, I don't want to see it again.
If we win, it's fine, but yeah, I understand if that's your job or whatever, or you're a statistician or whatever.
Yeah,
and you might have to do it.
Of course, then you have to do it because it's your job. But I just feel like I can't, use that amount of time to watch back a game where we lost. Even though if we sit here and talk about it, I just feel like this is more of a chat, just to go through what happened, how we feel, more emotional stuff. We're not normally talk loads of like numbers and stuff. I know you like your statistics, but it's not in that depth kind of thing. So it's quite fine.
Yeah, but anyway, like the handball. Let's just talk about that anyway before the Nunes goal. Like it's for me. Like I put a tweet up and I was like, I've never seen a more unnatural arm position in my life, and it got like so. And then the amount of obviously, I think it was like 30k likes or something, and obviously a load of Arsenal fans found it, and they were like saying, "Oh, how was it not an unnatural arm position? He's jumped to try and make up the space," and just a load of excuses, and I'm just like, I was just reading them, and I was just like, I've just sat in the pub and on the holidays, just reading them, just laughing. I was like, I'm not replying because that's what they want, and I just thought, you can't jump and then his arm's by his side, and as Jota hits it, his arm goes up there like that. It's like, I understand the proximity thing because it was close and Jota hit the ball quite hard. I get that aspect of it, but for me, and especially with the other instances around the Premier League where the other games, like I think one against Newcastle, where I think it's Dan Burn, I think he handball, it hits his hand and he's not even looking, like he's kind of turning around. I understand his arms in the air and it's a penalty as well, but if that's a penalty, then our one's a penalty. I can't, it's the most blatant penalty I've ever seen. And even if it was against Liverpool, I'd be like, yeah, it's a pen. Fucking hell, just accept it. It's a penalty.
Yeah. If it was against us, I would just be like, I couldn't say anything because it's a handball. It's in a unnatural position. It shouldn't be up there. Even if you jump and it comes in an unnatural position, it means that if you cover the ball, then you cover the root of the ball. So you kind of covers the ball to not be able to go into a dangerous position for us. So if it was against us, I would say the same thing. It's a pen, that's the thing. But we didn't really have the referees with us against Arsenal. So I wouldn't just, use that as an excuse, but that was part of it. We were also really shite defending. But it's still a small of an excuse. It's hard to get something from a game when the referees do really, really bad decisions. And as you mentioned as well with the VAR and the technical stuff, if you can't have that working, it's like, what if that was a game where you actually lost the league? Like if that kind of thing with the VAR actually, involved that much, so you lost the league with that point because that happened, that will. I don't know. Football will be probably more dead than it is already. It's like, you stop it.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of them, isn't it? Like you, especially the way we've been playing. Obviously, last night we weren't great for the first half, which we'll get into. We were always best the second half, but recently we've not been good. Arsenal are obviously top of the league. They've been battering everyone. This was the proper, real first test, I thought, and you just want the refereeing decisions to be like, just for both sides, like just try and even it out as much as you can, or just like get the right decision initially, just so you don't have to fucking do that. But you need the referee to be good. And Michael Oliver's meant to be the best in the Premier League. If he's the best in the Premier League, we're fucked. We're fucked because like that, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
But I think it's been for a long time where like you had like maybe 1-2 really good, and Oliver's been one of the really, really good ones. But you already had like quite a lot of referees, to be honest, I felt like they're not actually at the same level as they are in the rest of Europe. I don't know why it's a big difference, but something needs to be done and I think it's more of the inconsistency that it's the problem that you can have a really weird decision with you in one game and you can have the same kind of decision against you in another game, and that happens because there's obviously a round of games every weekend. You can see different decisions in each game. Like you watch it one game and there's a handball, and you watch the next one, there's a handball, and it was given a pen in the first one, it's not a pen in the other, but the situation is similar. So that's the most frustrating thing for me, that it's just like you don't know what actually are the rules or why, and you don't get any explanation. I think they should have like where I will probably respect the referees and the FA or whatever more if they actually came out after games and actually explain why they took the decision. And even if you don't agree with it, okay, at least you had explanation. Okay, fine, I can get that, but they're always just silent. It's quiet. You don't get anything from them, and you'd be like, oh, come on, like it ruins the whole emotional thing of football, because you can't really celebrate anymore. You're not sure anymore. And it takes the joy away, to be honest.
It does. I agree. It's one of those that you can't. You kind of goal goes in, you celebrate obviously, but then as soon as you start seeing the replays, you're like, oh fucking hell, it's tight. They might not give it, and it's just stuff like that that does take a bit of the instant passion away. I understand, like, but Yeah, Panoscow says subbed a while ago, and I always hit the like, Mick. Nice one, lad. It seems VAR has become like the ref's decision on the field. It's hit and miss depending on who's playing and who's in the VAR room. Even with all the tech, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. And I think I saw something as well, like something to do with like Michael Oliver. I think last year or something, and he got one of the person in the VAR basically asked him to go and have a look at it, and it was like questioning his decision, and it kind of that kind of might have come into it this time that it was a more senior ref on the field, Michael Oliver, and a junior ref in the VAR room, and then Michael Oliver maybe feeling like a bit, I don't know, patronised by a more junior referee, and like it shouldn't be there shouldn't be any egos in the refereeing fucking society. You're just trying to get the right decisions, like fucking
Yeah,
hell.
it stands for video assistant referee. So the thing is, though, like
Assistant referee, yeah.
if the referee on the field is actually getting, because the game is so quick nowadays, if they actually get the decision wrong, which have a great impact of the game, VAR should just go in and say, oh, you should look at this again, because to us now, when watching quickly on the replays on the screen, it seems like handball, it seems like this or whatever. And he could just run out quickly, have a look, and then, okay, sorry, I missed that, overturn, and then make the right decision. It shouldn't be a problem. It should be there to help and assist. That's what it's for. It just doesn't have to be like, oh, the referee in the VAR room says this, and I feel a bit, I'm not doing my job great. I fucking being criticist or whatever. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I think they should just, I don't mind the tool. Like, I think it's a great idea to use, but it needs to be used in the correct way.
And people like actually qualified to use it, and not just dickhead idiots who are just going to be like, well, I don't want to question the referee just in case he has a go at me next week or whatever, or
Exactly
stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, that was that. Nunes got us back in it with a very good goal, actually. Like, proper poachers, got into the right areas, and he was doing that all game. To be fair, the runs in behind, I think Klopp said like he was unplayable at times, and I think I agree, because the runs in behind, obviously we know his technical ability isn't there, and that will hopefully come with a bit more time. But in terms of like his energy and his power, I think there was a few times where he went one-on-one with Saliba, and Saliba's a big fella, like 6'4", and he was just holding him off and playing it off and running in behind, kept spinning, making runs, just making a nuisance of himself. And I think that's what we want to see more of. But just go through the other goals as well. Saka, it's just annoying because it was the first half early, and then the second half, the end of the first half, as well, which is like, I think I text you saying like that is just ridiculous. Like, I think it was our corner, the counter attack, no tactical foul in sight. Like, what are you doing? Like, just take someone down, take a yellow card, like just play.
Was it like
every other team does it. Every other team does it. So
wasn't like an offensive free kick for us, where we actually put up like our whole defending line, obviously with the tall players. Didn't we have like a free kick, and we thought like we have a chance? Now we just gave them the counter attack, and
it was a free kick or a corner, I think. But everyone was up, so it was everyone was running back.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, in that kind of time in the game where, you're just waiting for, to be half time and go out and, regroup again, talk about the game and how to approach the second half and all that. You kind of get yourself in a position where you take a risk. I know that we got the obviously offensive free kick. We can actually go up and score. But I would also say like we should be a little bit more balanced and think like, okay, they got quick players. There are technical skills. They got the technical skills, and now they actually got the counter attack, and we, it went that quick, and we can see it, and that was really, really annoying. And at that time, just before halftime as well, which is it's not bad. Like it's really bad in any sense to actually concede in that time of a game, because you know that you have to go out again and actually it's just you just wait to actually go in and regroup, and now you actually concede a goal, and that's always really tough. It's a tough task to do for any team, I guess.
I think psychologically as well, like you've just got yourself back in the game after maybe a dodgy decision. You've got a goal, and you can see on the end of the half, and you're back to square one again. But I'm just conscious of like time. I need to get through this a little bit. But there's a few comments. We got one from Thet or Tet on Facebook saying, yo, nice one for the comment. Doug says, in the words of Len Goodman, 7, I am in 7th heaven. Yeah, we're 15 minutes in and we're still on Arsenal. Not that we're pissed off or anything. Panovskow says, should be like the rugby. You should be able to hear what the refs are saying to each other, in my opinion, or just get rid of the VAR. I think that's what they do in rugby. Yeah, the referees get respect in rugby. The referees don't get respected. They get crowded by players, and it's always been the case, like even in the old 2000s stuff with United and Arsenal, like getting in the ref's face and whatever. That's still not as bad now, obviously, but it's still pretty bad. But yeah, and then second half, let's just go through this quick as we can. Firmino scores again, just absolutely on fire. And I don't even want to go into the penalty, to be honest, because I just feel like if the handball for Jota is against Jota and Gabriel is in the pen, and that's a penalty, I absolutely at a loss. Like when you see it, and like Jesus like gets maybe slightly touched by Thiago, that he plants his foot back on the floor, does a spin, falls back, and then he doesn't even get looked at properly. I don't think if Michael Oliver goes to the screen, I don't think he gives that. I just feel like he's similar with the Jota one. He's given his decision. The fella in the VAR room is like, I don't want to question his authority or whatever. Whatever's happened has happened, and we've not been given the right decision in our opinion. So it was one of those that we just need to move on. And obviously, let's just go into the Rangers stuff. Last night, which was nice. It weren't very nice the first half, because obviously we go 1-0 down after 17 minutes, and it was a good work goal, to be fair, but it's like it was just standard stuff from us at the moment where we're just getting sliced open too easily, and they score and you're like, oh fucking hell, 20 minutes gone and we're 1-0 down.
Yeah, and I felt this, the thing as well with the Champions League, you're thinking, no, we need to go and get 3 points away at Rangers and have a really, really good chance to actually progress from the group, which we have now, obviously. But when they scored, you felt like, come on, like the league is not going well. Hopefully we will, found the form and get the rhythm going and all that. But, I just felt that, when the league is not going well, you still want to be able to, hang on to the Champions League. You just feel that we actually progress. So when we went 1-0 down, I felt like, come on, obviously without any disrespect, but it's Rangers though. Like they've been really, really bad in Champions League, against all the teams in our group. So I was just like, we just need to do this. So when that happened, I was just like, come on, not this game, not again.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And it was, there was quite a few obviously good things after that, because Firmino gets the equaliser off a corner. Decent goal, to be fair. Like on first view, and I was like, has he meant that? And he has. It was just one of those that it didn't look on first. I think in real time, it didn't look like it was a meant finish. I thought like it might have just flicked off his head by accident, but it was actually like a really good finish. And then obviously Firmino gets the second one as well, just after half time, 55 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, bloody hell, Firmino was just absolutely smashing it. Like he was just scoring loads. And I think that was his 11th goal contribution in 12 games, which is, he's just on fire, isn't he, at the minute?
Yeah, I think, the way we see Firmino playing now, he hasn't the same kind of speed or, put pressure on as he did like when he was a little bit younger. But, he's a clever player and he's got the technical skills and his touches and the way he plays, and in that little hole as well, just behind, I think he's brilliant. And also he scored goals. So, he's been in really good form lately, and since the start of the season, obviously he's been one of the best players, even if the team hasn't performed well. So there's no question in him at all. He should play, because if you have someone in a really good rhythm as he is now, scoring goals, being involved in playing well as well, like we did second half, so he should be on the pitch. So I'm quite sure that he will actually start against City, because if you have a player that doing that well, then obviously he should be on the pitch, and he deserved to be on the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah, he does. I think the second goal as well, obviously the assist from Gomez is just like, it's Trent-esque, isn't it? It's like lovely little ball. Harvey Elliott nods it round the corner. Gomez runs from basically the halfway line, Firmino points where he wants it, and bangs it in the back of the net and puts us 2-1 up, and that's kind of the start of a good period for us, because then obviously, like 11 minutes later, Núñez gets his first Champions League goal for Liverpool, and the assist by Bobby Firmino, and obviously I just said that was the last goal we scored, was the 11th goal contribution in 12 games. This is obviously that the assist for Núñez was 12 goal contributions in 12 games, so he's got us just as many goal contributions in as many games, which is craziness, but great little assist. And it's someone who's full in confidence, isn't it? Like Bobby to do that little flick, and then Núñez was that a lovely little finish into the bottom corner, and that gave us a bit of daylight then as well, didn't it, with the 2-goal cushion?
Yeah, that's what we needed. Like, we needed to have that third goal, 3-1 up, so we feel a bit more safe and secure and can play, our game a little bit more. We don't have to chase for more goals or whatever. We can actually just sit back a bit and actually feel like, okay, now we got this. And I kind of felt that we have been in need of that for a long time. But now when we actually got it, and it was a great finish from Núñez as well, because it goes quite quick, but he still needs to put it in the corner, and it's a typical striker's goal. He knows where the goal is, and you can see that he just get his body in the right position and just puts it away from the goalkeeper. So good goal, and 3-1. And I felt like, now we're not dropping this, because you could tell that Rangers, they felt like they were going a bit like, no, they were 1-0 up. We put it 1-1, 2-1, and now it was 3-1. You felt like the air, you actually just went out of them from that moment. So yeah, that's probably why we could play the way and score the way we did after that as well.
Yeah, and obviously then Salah comes onto the field for Núñez on the 68th minute, and it only takes 8 minutes, and he gets his first, and then he goes on to score another 2 in 6 minutes and 12 seconds, which is the fastest hat-trick in Champions League history. I think that before that was Batatembi Gomez, I think. But yeah, 6 minutes, like that's one of those. I think like Son did it like a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? Where he was on the bench for Spurs and he came on and just banged in a load of goals, banged in a hat-trick, I think it was, or 2 or 3, and it was just kind of maybe like you don't need to rest me. But I think Salah, I think he did need a rest, and I think it maybe is this can hopefully be a little bit of a small catalyst to kind of get him on a goal trail a little bit more, and maybe have him a little bit more central as well.
Yeah, the thing is, I think he's far more dangerous when it's more central as well. Like we known Salah that he could score from any kind of position, but now he's been playing more to the right, and he's still good. But it feels like he's more of a, because he got the pace and he got the little flicks and go past players. Then I think playing a little bit more central actually benefits him now more than before. He can actually do more from the right side. But I think, with a little bit of age, even though if he's, still fit and still really great, he's not that old. But I think sometimes you just need to have those players in the right positions where they can actually, sense a goal, almost smell a goal. So, yeah, to have him there, shows that he can put in, goals from, any kind of position. But if he's still in the central, but he can just score any kind of goal. So, that's really good. And I think with Jota must have had the quickest, hat-trick of assists then in the Champions League history, because he actually assisted to each goal. So it was just great to see. And, like you said, I think Salah might as well, have needed a rest and something to actually feel that, he was left out of the starting 11, even though it was Rangers. It was still the Champions League. We still needed to win for the points. So I felt maybe that's something that he wants to show, that he should always play. And sometimes you just need that little spark from players where, you start on the bench, and that will, make him a bit angry, which probably was why he just went from, he took the ball after the final whistle and actually just went down the tunnel, because maybe he was just a little bit unhappy. I know it was discussed on Twitter that he should have, stayed and applauded the fans and stuff, which I think he should have, because that kind of win together with the fans that were there, you should go there and show, that they supporting you. You should support them back for the support they've been giving you. So I think he did a little bit wrong there. He should have stayed and just show his appreciation. But still, you need that kind of player to actually feel like I'm going to show Klopp that I'm always going to be starting, and that's probably what happened when he came in. He scored a hat trick, and okay, good. We know you can actually do this, so let's put him back on the pitch. It's all good.
Yeah, and I was looking at like his goal scoring after because I was just thinking like he's just scoring. He's scoring goals for fun that night. So I just
Yeah,
thought I'd have a little look, and obviously that was his 38th in Champions League for an English club, and that's another record as well. 38 goals in 6 seasons, and the previous record was Drogba got 36, and Aguero was on 36 as well.
yeah,
So he's 2 ahead of them already, and obviously Haaland might break all records that have ever existed, and obviously that might happen. But for now, Salah's there, and I also looked at like the all-time goal scoring list as well, just because I love it. I love a little stat. He's only eight goals off Kenny Dalglish's, 19 off Robbie Fowler's, and 22 off Steven Gerrard's, which is it's just craziness, isn't it? To be fair, the amount of goals he can score, and then obviously it was rounded off nicely by Harvey Elliott getting his first Champions League goal. A little bit of a weight on it.
yeah.
I don't know why, because when you watch it back, there was no clear offside or anything. It was obviously
I
just
think. Sorry, I think they're just checking the offside, like the first movement of the attack. I think that's what I could pick up. I might be wrong, but I thought they looked at the first pass, but that was not offside. So then obviously Elliot was not offside, and so there was probably no problem. But I think that's why they actually looked at it, because it could have looked a bit of an offside from the first pass that was going forward in the attack. But yeah,
but
just good.
good to get him a goal in the Champions League
Yeah.
as well. Looked happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. I was happy for him. Obviously, still a young player. Coming in, played well as well. He like the rest of the team. He's been good, but lately I feel also like there's something missing. But I think he played really well in that position last night, and obviously to end it all with a goal and actually get his first Champions League goal and actually be involved. It's just good for him. It's just good for the whole team. Some people said again on Twitter, it's only Rangers. I don't know where you can actually find the negativity of a 7-1 win in the Champions League. Wherever you go, it's own away game as well at Ibrox. So, you can, it's a great atmosphere there. It's still tough to go. You should still perform, do the job. And we managed to score 7 and actually look really, really good in the second half. So, it's no point to just look at the bad stuff that's been. It's more like, okay, 7 goals, great to have 7 goals and a great performance in the back when you go into Man City in the weekend. So it's the same like last time we played Rangers at home and we thought like, okay, let's take this and go into the Arsenal game. Obviously, it's a bit, different levels of the teams, and it's Premier League and not the Scottish League and all this, but it's never bad to actually just have self-confidence feelings and scoring goals, and actually have your best players scoring goals or being involved really well in the game. So take that and be positive and happy, and then the next game is the next game. But don't take away, the performance from the players or the team in that kind of situation. The only thing though that was, we were talking about it as well and texting, that Henderson obviously didn't look good. And he was taken off as well. But he was really good in the home game, but he was not as good in this away game, which is a little bit sad in one way. But yeah, it is what it is, and hopefully he can just bounce back and hopefully perform in the future.
Yeah, there's like we've said, there's criticism, which a lot of players weren't performing. Like Van Dijk, the amount of misplaced passes just going everywhere. I don't think Fabinho was that great. Henderson wasn't that great, but you spend too much time on social media, people just go too far. It's always abuse. It's always like going like a level above like criticism. You can criticize someone for not playing well because
Yeah,
the player themselves will know it anyway. They'll know that they're not performing at the right level that they used to. So
exactly. I gave him praise for the home game against Rangers, and I was giving a little bit some people were joking about, yeah, but it's only Rangers. Great of him to actually perform against that kind of midfield, with a old, like 37-year-old Davis and whatever it was, and Lundstrom and blah, blah, blah. And other people just jumping on that train as well. And obviously it's a different level against, Rangers and Arsenal, like I mentioned. But at the same time now, obviously I was the first one on Twitter as well saying, well, Henderson haven't been good. So, it's not good. And he I don't mind when supporters criticism, players who hasn't been good. It's fine. It's like in any other thing in life or work, whatever, if you don't perform, I don't say you should have a criticism, but you could say, okay, you should perform better. Maybe you need a rest. Maybe Klopp needs to change, put him on a bench or take him off or whatever. But that doesn't mean that he should have abuse. Like people should say, he's shit. Hope he gets injured or be run over by a bus. I read something like that. It's
Wow.
come on. He's been
crazy.
he's been our captain now since before Klopp came in. Klopp obviously rated him as a captain, as a player. He played. He lifted every fucking trophy that this club can lift in club football, and he's been a great servant for us on and off the pitch. I'm really proud of the person he is. I'm really proud of what he achieved in Liverpool, especially after being, on the, almost getting out of the club, went to Fulham and all that. He actually stayed and put in the work and actually deserved his right to be in the team, because he actually developed and found himself in a position where he can actually play a part. And he's getting older now, and maybe he shouldn't play every game. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that abuse is okay. And, supporters is just, pointing out all that kind of shit. They are not supporters in my point of view anyway. So it's just give him criticism, say he shouldn't probably play because he needs to find his form, but just stop talking shit. That's all I ask for.
Basically that. But just don't spend too much time on social media. That'll be my advice to anyone. Don't read the negative shit, or just block them. Either way, easy. JJ Liverbird says, good afternoon everyone. Nice one, JJ, for jumping in, by the way. Really enjoyed the game last night. Bobby was sensational, and Chuff Elliott. Is Mo back? Hope so. Yeah, hopefully that is the boost we need from Mo Salah to get him kick-started. Stephen Foy, nice one, Stephen, for jumping in. Afternoon Reds, nice one for jumping in, mate. But Elliott gets the goal, and 7-1, a very nice victory going into obviously Sunday with City. A nice, like you said, even if it's a small boost. Like I think the Rangers game last time, you said we were looking forward to the Arsenal game because we'd done well in that game, and I think it's going to be a different fucking beast this Sunday. It's going to be a really difficult game. It's going to be massive, but we'll be back anyway soon. We're going to leave it there, and we'll be back soon to discuss. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully, do like a Man City preview, and then obviously discuss it after as well. And but just before we go, if you haven't watched the Neil Mellor interview or listened to it, then if you would, then that would be boss. It would be very, very nice if you did. It was just talking about Olympiacos and header against Olympiacos, the goal against Arsenal, lovely cushioned header, having Maldini's medal, just loads of funny stuff, and he just seems like comes across as a really good fella. Just talking about like when he used to be drinking, when he was playing and getting tonsillitis and missing games, and just load of mad stuff that you would never know otherwise. But it was probably a good chat.
I was out walking listening to it because I didn't have the time to watch it in the first. So I was actually out walking listening to it. And obviously, I wasn't involved in the interview. You did that really great, Mick. But the thing is, I thought when you listen to it, then the way that Neil Mellor was really open about his career, when problems with injuries and, like you said, going out having drinks with his mates and stuff that you look back on and maybe regret because it affected his career and stuff like that. But it's just nice to actually hear, ex-pro being really open and, talk about his life and career as it wasn't, any weird things, because nowadays everything's so close and, you don't know anything. You can see things on social media, obviously, but everything is really, what can you say and not say? But he was really open, so I really enjoyed listening to it. So that was a really good one. So if you haven't, give it a listen or give it a watch. It was good.
Nice one, lad. But we'll leave it there. Nice one, everyone, for jumping in the comments. I know we haven't been done one for a week or so, but we appreciate you jumping in. And if you're watching on a repeat on YouTube, do like and subscribe. If you're watching now, like and subscribe. If you're listening on audio, then drop us a like and a review on Spotify or Apple. The reviews, if you could leave us a review or even just a rating, which is really quick to do, that just really helps us get our algorithms out there and make us boosted up the charts on the Apple charts and the Spotify charts and stuff like that. But nice one, everyone. Nice one to Kristian, and we'll see you all very soon. Very, very, very soon. Very soon. I can't speak, lad. Anyway, nice one, everyone. See you later.